Hi everyone, welcome back. This is John. Today I'm going to look the game between Wesley versus Mamedyarov in a rapid game. Your next move in Leuven, Belgium. I think that one's in Belgium. So Wesley here. Wesley is a white here. So let's get started. Let's see. So d4. So knight f6, c4, e6, g6, g3, so the next move here is pawn takes pawn. Yeah. Alright. Castling. Knight c6. Oh, this e3 blocking the bishop. e3 is blocking the bishop here, so let's see what Wesley plan. Rook to b8, queen to e2. Alright, continuing pushing the pawn. Alright, here we go. It's time to takes bishop d6, positioning the bishop in the better square. Rook to d1, routing the rook to the semi-open pile, activating the rook. Now here we go, activating the bishop in b2, then castling from black. Rook to c1. Yeah, because there's a undefended pieces, knight undefended pieces in c6. So I think better move here next is bishop b7. Yeah, bishop b7. So what if knight to e5, knight to e5, knight to e5, knight to b4, and bishop takes. Oh no, sorry, not that one. So knight to b4. Where are we now? Okay, knight to b4. Yeah, knight to b5 takes, bishop takes, knight to c6, attacking the queen. Knight takes knight, rook takes knight, and pushing the pawn to e5. Pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn, bishop takes bishop, and queen takes, and the queen is attacking the white rook in a1. And now with the same with the same pieces now, Wesley captured the pawn here in a6, then rook to d8, occupying the open pile, and the rook back to a2. I think the next move here is putting the rook to d2, h5. Oh no, knight to d2, planning to put the knight to f3. Okay, pawn continues attacking in the king side. Knight go to f3, attacking the queen. Queen goes to e4, attacking the rook in c6 here. So rook back to c1. Then now positioning the pawn to h3, because there's a combination here. Queen can go to g2, delivering a checkmate. Then let's see what Wesley saw. Wesley saw moved to rook a to c2. Black moves to d4, d5, moving the knight to either b4. All right, knight to e1. The idea here is protecting the g2 square. All right, knight to b4, attacking the rook, and now finally the rook need to exchange with the rook. Rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and rook goes to a7. Queen to d7. The idea of this one, the queen d7. The idea of this one is to capture this pawn. Okay, that's the main idea. Okay, rook to a8, guarding this row, and now finally there's no threat here in king side. Wesley so captured the pawn here in h3. All right, now Mamedyarov decided to trade the knight. Knight takes knight, queen takes knight, and pushing the pawn to b4, and queen to d2, attacking. That's a simple, you can see that one. And now moving back the queen to first row, supporting the rook here in c1. Then finally queen captured the pawn in b4, and rook b1, attacking the queen and attacking the pawn at the back. The queen takes pawn, rook to a1. Now endgame, check first, then capture, and queen capture rook, and queen deliver a check to the white king. King to g1. As you can see here, Wesley so is a 1 pawn advantage, but the problem here is this is going to be a draw. Most of the time this is going to be a draw for them, I think. And this one here, the pawn is the black has a passed pawn, so queen to f6, queen to d7, just attacking the pawn to, and pawn move to c6, then pushing the pawn here in h4, g6, and here we go. So the main idea of this one, I think, is to capture this one. Then Wesley so can capture the pawn here in f7. So it's not the king back to g8 to support the pawn here. Then after that one, this queen can capture the pawn in h4, and pawn to g5, attacking the queen, and king moves to c3, supporting the pawn here in c6, check. And now Wesley so decided to exchange the queen, and black declines, moving back to f4, just to capture the pawn here, to attack the pawn here in f7. King moved back to g8 just to support the pawn here to f7, push pawn. Now push pawn to c5, queen give a check here in b8, king back to s7, moving the queen to e8, just attacking this pawn and supporting this pawn, and back to king back to g7, supporting the pawn to f7 again, and Wesley so give a check here in e5, goes there, and move the queen to d5, push pawn, and now here we go. As you can see here, there's a possible way here. You can pawn takes pawn here, g takes h pawn, and queen to d5 and e to d5. So let's see. So yeah, h, then queen, and capture. Now, as you can see, it look like Wesley so winning by tempo, and extra move here by king, moving the king to f3, and pawn takes pawn, king to e7, e4. I mean, just trying to reach the pawn here in c4, the black pawn, and now finally that's it. Takes and moving back there. Then this one is Wesley so move, because if we continue this one, I think this black moves here, capture. Yeah, I mean capture, and that's it. Wesley So wins the game here. All right. This is the game between Wesley So versus Mamedyarov in Leuven, Belgium. All right. Thank you for watching. This is John. Bye for now.